What's going on, guys? The Comics Kid 2099 here. Welcome to day 94 of the 365-day graphic novel review challenge. Today, I want to talk to you about a Star Wars book, Obi Wan Kenobi and Anakin. This is a 5-issue miniseries set in between The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. And this is the story of Obi Wan and Anakin being dispatched to this world outside of the Republic where they get a distress signal from a Jedi. And they want to figure out what's going on here. Why is there a Jedi outside of the Republic? Why have they not heard of this Jedi in a really long time? And there is this long-running civil war that's been going on this dead world between these two sides. And they have been arguing about which side was responsible for destroying this world. And Obi-Wan and Anakin enter into a reluctant truce between some warriors from both sides of the Civil War so that they can get to safety because they're out on the middle of this frozen wasteland and they want to get out of this area where they're all going to die. So they all reluctantly work together, and then things escalate. There's a little bit of backstabbing going on, lies from both sides, and then there's another person on this world that both parties of this Civil War are trying to destroy because this person is trying to end the war but isn't necessarily a trustworthy party either. So you would think that this person would kind of be on Anakin and Obi-Wan's side because she wants to end the war between these two other parties, but she's also not really trustworthy. She's kind of got her own thing going on. She's not necessarily a good person either. And it's really interesting. We get to see a lot of very intriguing political stuff going on this world, and Obi-Wan kind of defends the actions of the Jedi. And if you watch any of the Star Wars prequels, the Jedi are really reprehensible scumbags, and they act very holier than thou. They do things that just don't make any sense at all. But here, Obi-Wan kind of makes a defense for it that makes a little bit of sense. At one point, Anakin says, "Why would the Jedi Knights let this entire world just fall apart like this?" And Obi-Wan says, "There's only 10,000 of us stationed all across the universe. We don't have enough manpower to go to a world and prevent these people from killing each other. And if they're really hell-bent on killing each other, they're going to do it anyway, and we can't stop them from doing that." And that's a good defense for how the Jedi acted so emotionless and passive in the prequels. I still don't think that necessarily explains everything wrong with the Jedi Knights in the prequels, but it is a good step in that direction, I guess. But I really like getting to see Obi-Wan and Anakin struggle with some of the problems inherent in the Jedi Order while also trying to do the right thing. And it's a tug of war that I really like getting to see them struggle with here. Also, we get to see that Anakin is thinking about leaving the Jedi Order. He is being manipulated by Chancellor Palpatine, who is kind of trying to push him in the direction that he will go in the later movies, but also feeding him half-truths, saying like, you know, I'm just a good guy, I just want to save the Republic, and I have to kind of bend the rules a little bit to do that. And he does a little bit of that with Anakin, and I can very easily see Anakin becoming Darth Vader based on what's going on here. In a way, I think that this does a better job of putting Anakin on that path than Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith did, in a way. But I really like getting to see Anakin kind of toying with the idea of leaving the Jedi Order, and he makes a very valid point here when he's talking to Obi-Wan about this. He says, I was 9 years old, I lived on this very hellish planet, my mom asked this space wizard to take me off of this hellish world, and then that was it. He says that the choice wasn't really his to make, and he wants to make a choice of his own. And then later Obi-Wan says that working with the Jedi, they are stronger as a team than they are alone, and then Anakin says, okay, I'll remain with the Jedi Knights. I do wish that we could have seen a little bit more deliberation from Anakin. We don't get to really see him ponder this any. We get to see him go through the story here on this world that's pretty much been destroyed by Civil War, but I wish that we could have seen him struggle with the idea of leaving the Jedi Order a little bit more before he says, okay, I'll stick around, just because we know that he does stick around if you watch Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. But I don't really have any big complaints about this. I wasn't really sure if I was going to like it because the big problem with doing expanded universe stuff set in and around the prequels is that you can either be consistent with the prequels and therefore not be a very good story because the prequels are not good stories, or you can be consistent with the rest of the Star Wars universe, and I'm not saying that everything that's not a prequel is good because there's a lot of stuff that's not prequel related that is bad, but if you're consistent with, say, the original trilogy, chances are you're going to be a little bit of a better story, but then you're setting your story within the prequel territory, and then it's a little bit fuzzy, and you're kind of giving mixed signals a little bit. I was very surprised that this is a good story. It's not fantastic. I'm not saying that I would want them to completely wipe out the prequels that we got and just replace them with this. Even if you could just make everyone on the planet forget that those 3 prequels existed and just give us this, I wouldn't think that this would work as one of the prequels, but it does do a very good job of being supplemental to the prequels, and it does a good job giving us stuff that the prequels didn't give us. So I really like the story. I don't really have any problems with it. I think that, if anything, I wish that it could have been a little bit longer so that we could have seen Anakin struggle with his choice that he makes in this book a little bit more. And I would have really liked to have seen this world that Anakin and Obi-Wan are on a little bit more. I think that it was a really cool place to get to see them visit, and I would have liked to have seen more of that if possible. But the story that we get here, for the most part, it needed to be 5 issues. It didn't need to be any longer. It would have felt needlessly drawn out if they had made it longer. But that's about all that I have to say about Obi-Wan and Anakin. I hope that you guys liked this video, and if you did, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will be back tomorrow with a different video. In the meantime, you guys have a great rest of your day. Catch you later.